Hey guys, what's up? I'm Megan, and for the past few years, I've been on a bit of a journey to really get on top of my phone usage. It is, it's been way harder than I thought it would be, and sometimes it feels a little bit embarrassing that I can't just, not use my phone sometimes, but it is a bit of an addiction, and I think a lot of us struggle with this. And so I've actually got a week off work this week. And so I thought during this week off, I'm going to really try to replace my scrolling time with hobby time. So that's going to mainly be knitting. I've got a sweater that I'm working on, I've got some socks. It'll be great to see how much knitting I can get done when I'm not wasting time scrolling. But I've also got other hobbies that I just haven't been finding time for. Painting, some sewing. I do have a quilt that I want to do. I don't know if this week is the week I'm going to tackle that. Just all these things that I keep telling myself that I don't have enough time for, but somehow I've got time to scroll on my phone for hours every day. So that's what we're going to do this week. I'm going to put down my phone and I'm going to pick up some crafts. Hopefully, having you guys along with me will help me to be more accountable and just to be more mindful. I think the difficult thing with scrolling is that it's just so easy if your phone's in your hand and then suddenly you're already engaging in, I don't know, short form content. You're scrolling, I'm looking at online shopping, I'm reading through news articles, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but when it's first thing in the morning, I don't think that's what my brain needs. Part of the reason I started knitting was because I really liked the idea of having something in my hands so I can't have my phone in my hands. So that's what we're going to focus on today. I've got this jumper. We are going to take this on the road because our first little challenge will be that I'm going out for a solo date. I'm going to take myself to the movies. It is a Monday here, and that means that the cinema in Carlton, Cinema Nova, does cheap movie tickets. And I used to love taking myself out for a date, just a solo date. On Mondays, I used to work in hospitality, and often the place I worked was closed on Mondays, so I always had that day off. And so I'd take myself, I'd go see a cheap movie or two, I'd go get myself a sweet treat. I might go across the road to Readings, which is a really great bookstore, have some time to myself. And while I do feel really comfortable doing things by myself and I like my own company, I do still find that those times might be times when I am scrolling a bit more. If I'm sitting at a cafe, while I mostly feel comfortable, I can still get a bit shy and awkward. I might be like, oh, I want to do something with my hands. Um, so we're going to bring knitting. This is not the most portable um, project. It is a big chunky sweater, uh, but that's fine. That's what I'm working on. I also want to take this one rather than like I've got a small fiddly sock that I'm knitting, but I also want to be able to knit in the movie because I'm going to see a scary movie. I'm seeing Weapons, and while I do really like scary movies, sometimes I get a bit too scared. I enjoy the thrill, but I also like don't like the feeling of being very stressed. So I like to have a little bit of a buffer, and often that is also scrolling on my phone. I do like to scroll on my phone while I watch scary movies, and I know that is so frustrating to some people, but it allows me to still follow the story without like having to leave the room because I'm too scared. So hopefully having my knitting will help with that. And because these stitches are so big, I can just like feel the stitches so I don't necessarily have to see them. Hopefully that works. We'll see how we go. But yeah, I'm gonna go hit the road now. I won't have enough time to go and get myself a little coffee before the movie starts. back with a quick try on. Pretty happy with the progress today. I only just separated the body and the arms last night. So I've just been working the body today. I got quite a bit done during the movie, especially in like the very intense parts. In the really quiet parts, because there was only like 5 of us in the cinema. It was a small cinema. I really didn't want to be knitting because I feel like you could hear the rustling of my knitting. But then when it was like intense, I was thinking about it. I would like get to the end of an intense loud part and be like, wow, I was not even thinking about my fingers moving just then. Um, but it was helpful having my knitting. I did sneak a few glances at my phone, but it was more just to like check the time, be like, okay, how much more is this movie going to ramp up? How much more do I have to prepare myself? But no, I did actually really enjoy the movie. I really liked the way it was set out. You get different perspectives, get to see the same time frame from multiple angles. Um, and I liked that, like, the main character was, I don't know, she's like a little bit of a, she felt kind of fleshed out a bit more than sometimes you get in horror movies. Anyway, enjoyed the movie. Scared the crap out of me, but I had fun. And more importantly, this is how the jump is looking. I want to get a few, maybe what is that, like an inch and a half, 2 inches? I can't tell from here. I want to get a bit more length on the body and then bind it up. So I should be able to do that tonight. Wow, I am warm in this. It's not a hot day, but it's like 20 degrees, and this is wool. So I'm hot. I'm gonna go do that.
Finally feeling comfortable in like an appropriate garment to be wearing. And it's an especially appropriate garment to be wearing today.
Hey guys, time for a quick little update. It's now Wednesday. I didn't update you guys yesterday. It was actually my fiance's birthday, and we're just busy hanging out, having fun during the day. Ate lots of really good really good food. And yeah, just had a really nice day. I did get a little bit of downtime and time knitting. And there was one period where I did get stuck scrolling because I was on the couch and I had Toby under one arm and Momo under the other, so I couldn't like knit. Didn't want to disturb them, obviously. So I did end up scrolling for a little bit then, but it wasn't for very long. And I'm really happy with my phone, my screen time actually. On Monday, my screen time was pretty high, but that was because I was recording. But when I'm going through the breakdown, I'm kind of just looking at the apps where I tend to scroll, and those have gone way down. Um, like, for example, YouTube on my phone, I had an average of like an hour and a half every day, and that's been more like 20 minutes to half an hour the past 2 days. So I'm pretty happy with that as a start. Um, this morning I did get a bit stuck scrolling as well because I woke up at 5. The cats woke me up and I just didn't feel awake enough to get up yet, but I didn't want to go back to sleep, so I was scrolling for a little bit. Um, but then I did make myself get up and I have been doing some knitting. Here it is. So I cast off the body yesterday morning or Monday night. I can't remember. Um, I still haven't like it's still attached because I kind of want to steam it just to double check that I don't want to do a stretchier bind off. I think it's fine, but I'm not 100% convinced yet, so I just want to block it to see how it looks. Um, and then I've been working on the sleeve. It's way too big. I was just trying it on and it is too big. So I'm gonna have to unravel that and yeah, just decrease. I have been doing decreases on this, but I just need to be starting with less stitches. I mean, really, I could have been starting with less stitches this whole way down. But I'm gonna work it out. So that's where I'm at with this jumper. And today I'm actually gonna go to a few yarn stores. That won't be in this video. I'm actually doing a separate video about that. But I want to go hang out. I'm going to like the Yarra Valley. So I'm going to maybe go to some cafes there, get some food. So I want to take a knitting project with me, but this one's just so big. So I've actually got a sock I'm working on that I might take with me instead. And I think I'm also going to take my book, because when I went out on Monday, that was the time I was scrolling a bit, when I was like eating by myself. So I think having my book there will be a good option, because like I can't knit while I eat, but I can like tap a screen. I'm gonna take my e-reader. So that is the plan. Anyway, I'm gonna get going, get on with my day, and I will check in with you guys in a bit. I just steamed the body of it, and the length is actually fantastic. But you can just see the arm is proportionally too wide for the body. The body would have to be baggier to have this much fabric here. It's not absurd, but I think it doesn't fit. But otherwise, I love it. Let's unravel this one and get knitting. Also, I'm filming like this, so my mouth is close to the microphone because my microphone died today. So I'm gonna have to get another one of those. Oh, I don't think I haven't used my phone often. I read my book when I was eating alone and having coffee, and then I just use maps a lot. I'm sure my screen time will be a lot because I've been recording and using my navigation, but it's the apps that count, and I have not been scrolling. Let's go do this so I don't scroll even more. I'm gonna put my phone on charge. I'm not even gonna have it in the same room. Let's knit. Hey guys, I wanted to give you a quick update on how my sweater's going, and also reflect a bit on the past week. So, sweater first. This is where I'm at. I've bound off the body. I'm so glad that I took the time to go back and rework this. I just wasn't quite happy with the fit, and I remember I used to have a jumper that had like this split in the side, and I really loved it. Ended up losing that. I don't know where it went, but I wanted to incorporate that design into this sweater, so I have done that, and I just did like a curved like decreases, and then I picked up along the edges and added this one row of pearls before casting off, just like I had the one row of pearls here, and I'll do the same for the sleeves. Also, I'm really glad that I went back and redid the sleeves. Like I worked it back up to here and then separated again. So the sleeves are slimmer fit, and I think that's the look I'm going for here. So I'm really happy with how this is coming out. I can't wait for it to be finished. But I am trying to be very mindful, take breaks, because it has been really rough on my hands, my fingers, and I need to protect them. But it is Monday. So it's been a week of me trying to knit rather than be on my phone. And it seems like there's not that much to show for, but I really have spent a lot of time undoing this project and reworking it just to get it right for what I want. So I probably would have finished this, but I didn't, but that's okay. Like part of me feels like I don't have anything to show for it, but that wasn't the point. I wasn't trying to knit as fast as I could. I was just trying to reduce my screen time, which I have. So the week before, my average time scrolling was between like an hour and 15 and 2 hours every day. That's not like total phone usage time, but that was time spent on apps where I am just scrolling. This past week, my average time is a lot closer to half an hour. Some days were like 18 minutes. There was one day there where it was like 50 minutes. That was the highest I'd spent all week. But most of the days were sitting around like 25 minutes, half an hour, which I'm really happy with. But it was also a bit of a funny week because I had it at off work, and so it was a real challenge, but I was really out of routine. And so I'm not quite sure if that week was reflective of what a general week would be like. So I kind of want to keep this going for another week where I'm at home, I'm working from home. Sometimes work can be really stressful. So on my breaks, I just want to scroll. So I really want to try not to do that this week and try to keep this momentum going. So we're going to extend. This isn't the end of the video. I think it would be pretty short. I don't think I've gotten that much footage from this week anyway. So we're going into week 2, and I'm going to try and reduce my screen time, like my scrolling time, even more. We can do it. Good morning. It is 7 a.m. and I have been up since 5. I've been awake a little earlier than that because Momo really wanted to walk all over my pillow repeatedly. And I did do a little bit of scrolling, but then I made myself get up and I've been knitting. So I've cast off one sleeve and then I've just been working on the second one. And I'm really loving how it's coming out. So I intend to just sit here, finish my coffee. I've got Gilmore Girls on because I've just been craving something really comforting. And I'm gonna knit. I still got 3 hours before I start work. Also, I got up because it was freezing. It was only 3 degrees here. It's meant to be spring in Australia. So I got up and turned the heater on and came to the couch. But I'm proud of myself for not just staying in bed and scrolling for an hour. I maybe did like 15 minutes. Read some grisly news stories, which were not helpful, but then I stopped myself, which I'm proud of. All right, I've been making some progress. It is later in the day, I was finally able to change out of my trackies because it warmed up. It's actually gorgeous in the sun now, but I have been indoors knitting and making good progress. I've only got a few more inches left on this arm, and then I can bind off, and then I can block and weave in all the ends. And I kind of want to get this done today. And I've already got another knit lined up. I just bought a sock knitting pattern, which I'm really excited about. But I've also done something that's kind of dumb. I don't know. So I've been thinking for a while about making an Instagram to share my knitting. And I've been off Instagram for 2 years because I don't like how addictive it is for me. And yeah, I don't know. I've been really in two minds about getting it again. I think it could be really great for inspiration and to feel more connected to the community and to see what other people are doing. But then I just worry about getting sucked in. So yeah, I guess we'll see. Maybe it will be a test this week to see how I go. Anyway, I'm gonna keep on knitting, and hopefully the next time I update you, the jumper might be done. I'm gonna need to block it for sure, but I'm hoping that I can just steam it a lot because wet blocking this won't be ideal. It's just so thick. I mean, I'll do it if I need to. We're gonna have some warmer weather later in the week, so it will dry, but I might just try to steam it first and see how we go with that. But yeah, I can't wait to show you the finished project. I'll also have to shape it because this fiber is so soft, but it pills a lot. And like it's not, especially because I've been like handling it so much. That is something I noticed about it when I was knitting it into the Papillon sweater. So yeah, I think it's gonna look awesome once it's all done, blocked, and shaved. It's always so satisfying. Anyway, that's it. That's all I had to say. Yeah. Good morning. I'm rushing to get out the door because I have a gym class, and if you're late, they do not let you in. But I'm wearing my jumper. I'll show you more later, but I was just excited and I wanted to show you guys before my class, so I didn't have like a bright red face when I showed you guys. It is really warm though. Like it's only like 6 degrees right now. I mean, of course I'm inside, so it's a bit warmer, but I was just sitting sweating in this. So it's a really warm fiber. But now after class, I'm going to stop off at Spotlight because there's a few things I need to pick up. I'm thinking of getting just a few casual yarns. Also, I really haven't been on Instagram that much. I mean, like I spent time on it last night setting it up, and this morning I did check on it kind of first thing, and I almost started to scroll, but then I caught myself and I was like, nope, you don't want to do that. So I got up and had a shower straight away, and I'm proud of myself. But of course, it's only one day, so we'll see how we go. I'm just really hoping I just use it for inspiration and can use it in a positive way. Anyway, I gotta feed the needy children and I gotta go to class, and I'll see you later. All right, I am back from the gym. It is a few hours later, but I've been wearing this. And it's actually been really warm. I was worried this morning when I was just sitting down, drinking my coffee in my shorts and singlet and this, and I was sweating that, oh my God, this is going to be way too warm, but it's actually fine. I think it was the combination of wearing this and drinking a hot coffee that was, I don't know, getting me really warm, but this is pretty delightful. I'm really happy with it. Here's a 360 view. There are definitely some things that I would improve, but I don't think I've ever self-drafted a raglan sweater before. I'm trying to think. I don't think so. So I'm pretty impressed with myself. And I kind of want to perfect this a little bit. I don't know. It might be a sweater I knit again. We'll see. I obviously needed something new on the needles. I do have a sock that I started, but I have no interest in it right now. It's like, I don't know. It's just not doing it for me. I think it'll be cool when it's finished, but the process of it, I don't know. So I did go to Spotlight and I got some yarn. I got some of this Bella Baby Merino 8-ply. And then I also got some of the Bella Baby Baby Wonder. This one's acrylic and nylon. So I am planning to knit my brother's cat a sweater. He's a Persian, and when it comes into summer, they get him shaved because he just gets too hot. But in Melbourne, you'll get some really hot days and then it'll go back to being freezing. So he's been shaved often and then we'll get hit with a cold day. So he needs a little jumper to wear. And I knit him one a few years ago, but I'd like him to have a second one. So his cat parents decided that blue would be nice. And so I sent them photos of this and they're preferring this blue, which, I mean, I don't know how Jimmy's gonna like wearing synthetic fibers. He is a fancy boy. But I've got this as backup if needed. I'm gonna go and I guess cast on Jimmy's sweater. I did want to work with a different color because I've just done this, but it looks like I'm gonna be working with a very similar color. That's okay. It's okay. That's it. Little knitting update. This morning I woke up at 5:30 to the sound of the rubbish truck going by, and I remembered I didn't take the bin out, so I had to run out in my pajamas and get it out there, which I did. I did it, and then I was already up, so I was like, I may as well just do a bit of knitting, and I gathered all of my leftover yarn from my sweater. I'm gonna make Toby a matching sweater, but this is all I have. So I think I'm gonna make a little trip to Maker Maker on the weekend to get one more ball of yarn. It does kind of feel like a waste because it's beautiful yarn to make for Toby. But wouldn't it just be so fun? So cute. Yeah, I think it would be. So anyway, I've got that started. And then I've just returned back to this knit. It's funny going back to working on 4mm needles after working with 9mm needles. It's also kind of nice and a lot easier on the fingers. So, little update on my screen time and phone usage since getting Instagram. I'm really feeling a lot less interested in actually just scrolling random things. It's not feeling very appealing to me. I would rather come and work on my knitting, which is cool. I'm digging it. I'm feeling pretty good about this. So essentially, my issue isn't with like having a phone and it's not with the apps. I choose to have a smartphone. I could have just a basic flip phone if I wanted to. But I choose to have this and I choose to be on YouTube. I've chosen to download Instagram again. But that's not an issue for me. I would be a pretty big hypocrite if I was completely against those. Some aspects of social media apps like that don't thrill me, but ultimately, they are just tools and it's about how we're using them. And a while ago, I wasn't feeling like I could use them in a way that was good and useful for me. And so I took a lot of time off. But now I'm feeling like I'm able to use them more mindfully and actually use them as like tools and entertainment, of course. But yeah, it's that mindful aspect that uh, is my goal. Being able to engage with them and, be aware while I'm doing it, not just using them mindlessly. So, anyway, that's my little spiel. Anyway, that's all from me right now. I'm going to continue knitting. So I'll catch up with you guys later. All right. It's 7:30. I'm already in my PJs. Got a glass of wine. Anthony's gone out to dinner. It's Friday night. It's Halloween night. We're going to watch a scary movie. And that's, like I said earlier in this video, when I'm watching a scary movie, I like to scroll on my phone. But I've got this knitting, and we're actually going to watch a scary movie that I've already seen before, a classic. We're going to be watching The Blair Witch Project. I'm making progress on this. I've separated, I guess, for the arms. So we're just working the back at the moment. I've sort of like done some decreases here. And then I'm just going to do like a front panel, and then we're going to join back together because we're not doing sleeves. I was seeing if I could sort of do a bit of a raglan thing, but no, we really just want holes for the arms so it's the most comfortable for Mr. Jimmy. I also am going to be doing duplicate stitching. I was about to say double stitching. I'm going to duplicate stitch a fish on here. I was looking at trying to do intarsia for the first time, but I just figured if I'm just doing one graphic on the back, duplicate stitch is just so much simpler and it makes so much more sense. Especially like this is just for a cat, But I do want to do an intarsia project soon, but another like a small scale one. Maybe socks? I've seen some pretty cool intarsia sock patterns lately. I'm also kind of terrified about watching a horror movie with Toby because he barks at the slightest noise. Our neighbor can sneeze and he's barking. And I think it's going to scare the shit out of me if he does that while I'm watching a movie. But hey, he also likes to bark at the screen sometimes. So we'll see how we go. He's just a very nervous little boy. And that's okay, but it might freak me out. So this should be fun. filming much the past couple days for this video, but it has officially been 2 weeks now that I have been doing this, of trying to knit rather than scroll. Past few days I've been doing quite a bit of knitting for animals. I've been knitting a sweater for my brother's cat Jimmy. I would show you, but I took it over there last night so I can show you photos. And then I have been knitting up a matching sweater. I got more of the wool and I have been knitting this for Toby. Although annoyingly, I got to doing the sleeve and I realized I have increased far too much and the sleeve is too big. And I wouldn't mind too much, except I'd like to try and write this up as a pattern. I want to start learning how to do that, and I think something small like this would be a good thing to start with. But maybe we should get Toby to try this on. Hey, little guy. I mean, you look very handsome. Yes, you do. Very handsome. Do you want to show them the back? So it's like got the same detailing as my sweater that I knit myself. This one. But yeah, I do just think this sleeve is a bit too big. It's probably nice and roomy for you, but I think we can decrease it a little bit, don't you? Yeah? I think so. I think so. All right, we'll get this off you, buddy. He's very good with stuff like this. Oh, and now that I'm taking it off, I just remembered that I actually wanted to leave a hole in here for a lead. So I'm going to frog this and do it again. But this only took me, so I finished the cat sweater for Jimmy yesterday afternoon, and then I cast this on and got this far last night. So it's not going to take me much time at all. And I've actually written down the steps that I did. Yeah, so I did get quite a bit of knitting done. I got a full sweater for me, cat sweater for Jimmy, and nearly a dog sweater, although I will be undoing it. I really like the fish detail on Jimmy's sweater. I did that in duplicate stitching. It wasn't the neatest. I haven't done duplicate stitching in a while. So around the head of the fish, it's a little bit wonky because that's where I started, but it's okay. It's just a sweater for a cat. So let's reflect on how this 2-week time has been in regards to my phone usage. Like, it hasn't like turned me into this like higher being who no longer craves scrolling or using my phone. I'm still doing that, but I am actually doing it a lot less. I'm actually pretty surprised, especially because I downloaded Instagram. But I think the trick with that was I'm following some friends and family, and then I'm only following knitting and fiber arts content creators. So going on there feels good. I'm not following any celebrities, I'm not doing any of that. And I'm fine with just seeing the updates of people who I followed. Maybe I'll see like 1 or 2 suggested posts as well. But then I just get off it, which has been very refreshing and is very different to how I used to use it. Same with YouTube. I don't know if it has been because I've been more mindful or if there's been a change in the algorithm that has been really helpful for me, because I just have not been getting fed that many relevant or interesting shorts to me. So either way, I have not been scrolling on there as much. But I have been very mindful, being like, okay, well, if you want to keep scrolling now, maybe you can't do this later. Like, do you want to do it now? Do you want to do it later? And often that's enough for me to be like, no, I can go do something else now. So I do feel like this has really helped me be more mindful. I have also like had times like this morning, I didn't want to scroll, but I was like maybe sitting down and knitting for like the 10th morning in a row isn't what you actually need right now. Go for a walk with Toby. And so I did, and that was really nice. So I guess the whole thing is just, it's not just with replacing one habit with another, although knitting is more productive and positive. Um, I think like you can knit too much as well, especially with this really thick yarn that's hard on my hands. But yeah, it's not good to just like do one thing to the exclusion of all other things that could be healthy for you. I'm still trying to get that balance right. It's going to be an ongoing thing, but I do kind of feel like this is a shift that I'm going to keep taking forward. Like, I was kind of like, should I extend this video more? But no, 2 weeks, we're done with this video. But I really, really am impressed with how much this has helped me. Just having knitting needles in my hand has helped me so much in reducing my scrolling time. It is under an hour every day for social media apps like YouTube and Instagram. So I'm really happy with that. I feel more right now like I'm using my phone as a helpful tool and like a source of inspiration rather than like this pit that I fall into and lose hours of my time. So I'm feeling really positive, and I don't know. I I'd recommend giving this a try if you want to, if it sounds like it would be helpful to you. Um, Try knitting if you're struggling to put down your phone. I don't even really know how to wrap up this video. I mean, I hope this has been interesting or helpful. I feel like it's been most helpful for me. Like I was just really making this video for me. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being here as always. I really appreciate you hanging out with me. And I will hopefully see you guys next time. See you later.